All right, welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. So there is a lot going on the internet, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, and it is all in relation to production of The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 4. There is major drama between Brandi Glanville and Caroline Manzo while they were filming in Morocco. So I've now chatted with multiple sources and I've been trying to get all the bits and pieces of what went down and put it all together, especially since I read Bravo and Cocktail's blog post about all of this. And now getting all the pieces, now it's starting to make sense what actually went down. And it is pretty major and not in the way I think most people are thinking that it is. First of all, I don't think this has anything to do with Dina or Teresa. I don't think Brandi called Danielle either. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people say that this has to do with Dina, and Brandi's like, this was for Dina and blah, 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 blah. I don't think Brandi knows any of those ladies. I don't think she has like a real connection. Maybe Teresa, she's done a few events with, but I don't think she came to vindicate any of them. So that's really just a random person that tweeted something on Twitter that has like 200 followers, and then that kind of like just took steam. But you know, I don't mess with the low budget tea. We don't mess with low budget. We make sure we fact check things, and that's why I didn't immediately put this story out, is because I was like, wait, this is a little crazy. Let me try to verify this, and let me actually try to see how much I can dig up on it. But I'm hearing that this is actually the most tame trip that we've gotten from Brandi, which makes sense considering she's gunning for that diamond on Real Houses of Beverly Hills, so she knows she has to be on her best behavior for the most part. That's why when I initially heard that it was like a physical altercation, I was like, whoa, what do you mean physical altercation? Did Brandi beat up Caroline Manzo? And that's not actually the case. So I know Brandi always finds herself at the center of the drama, and we love her for it, but I guess that she and Caroline didn't quite hit it off. Like, there wasn't an initial spark between the two of the ladies, which makes sense because they're totally different people, right? Like, they come from totally different backgrounds. Brandi's more of a free spirit. Caroline's more about her family and, you know, protecting her family. And, you know, we've heard the rumors, but so towards the end of the trip, I'm thinking that this went down probably on Thursday. So it looks like Brandi did something that Caroline was very displeased with. I haven't been able to confirm exactly what Brandi did, but it sounds to me, and again, I've gotten different people to confirm different details, but it sounds to me like maybe Brandi got a little litty-sitty and was trying to get Caroline to let her guard down, and she maybe got a little too flirty. And that's Brandi, right? Brandi, you know, is not afraid to take her boobs out. Brandi is not afraid to kiss another woman. Brandi is very open with her sexuality. I don't know if she tried to kiss Caroline or she smacked her on the butt or she pulled her tits out and was like, Caroline, look at me. I don't know what happened, but whatever Brandi did, Caroline found it very offensive and made it a major issue about it. So when we hear the parts that like, oh, it's physical, it wasn't violent, it was unwanted. So when we hear all these details, now it actually starts to make sense. Brandi, again, who's very open with her sexuality, she's very free with her body. She's not afraid. Caroline's not the type of woman, though, you know, to engage in something like that. Brandi has no shame in kissing other women. She gets handsy. She gets flirty. She has a couple cocktails. She has a good time. Caroline's the complete opposite. Caroline's very old school. Caroline, you know, she's not going to pop a boob out. She's not going to dance and twerk. She's not going to make out with another woman on camera. That's just not her style. You know, she's 1/16 Italian, and that's not how they do it. Okay? You're not getting, you know, lit and pulling titties out at the Olive Garden. So apparently Caroline's reaction caused a major issue for production. So Brandi had to be removed and placed into a separate hotel because I guess Caroline wanted Brandi fired as a result of it, and she didn't want Brandi around. She felt very uncomfortable around Brandi. So I don't know if she's saying that she felt unsafe or, you know, what she told production exactly. I just know that Caroline has made a really big deal about all of this. So Brandi didn't physically attack Caroline, but it sounds like Brandi got a little too close for Caroline's comfort, and Caroline was very bothered by it. And so, yeah, now this makes sense why Bravo and Cocktails was saying that this was physical, but it wasn't violent, and that it was unwanted because Caroline didn't want Brandi all up in her space. So it definitely sounds unwanted. But from what I've been able to piece together, it sounds probably innocuous on Brandi's end. Like she was just trying to get Caroline to like loosen up. Like, here, have a drink, like relax, let your guard down, you know? Again, all of this is alleged, but I do have multiple sources that have confirmed a lot of these pieces. And Brandi was not allowed near the other women because they had to investigate it. So she had to be placed in a separate hotel while the investigation was developing. I'm assuming that this happened on camera and not off camera, but it sounds like Caroline made a pretty big accusation, probably of some sort of assault, maybe not a physical assault, but maybe like a sexual assault. I don't think it was that bad. From what I've heard, I don't think the actual interaction was that bad. I think the reaction to the interaction is what's really big and what's really bad. And that's why I kept hearing like people saying, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And I was like, well, what is bad? Like if she didn't punch her and she didn't like clock her, then like what was so bad? Like that's a big thing to throw out there though. But, you know, the sexual assault allegation, that's my own speculation because like I said, it keeps getting described as bad. Now, Brandi was removed, but it seems Caroline left early on her own accord. And it sounds to me like the other women rallied around Brandi rather than rallying around Caroline, which also makes it seem like maybe Caroline did overreact a little bit. They seem to all be supporting Brandi for the most part, probably because they know that it wasn't that big of a deal and Brandi didn't mean any harm. Like Brandi very rarely means harm, but when she feels backed into a corner, that's when we really see her come out and we see her get gangster. We see her get all, you know, don't talk about my kids. And she puts hands and she's like, I'll fight you. You know, that's when Brandi gets mouthy and handsy, is when, you know, she's reacting to someone, and she's very flippant with her mouth too, right? So I think this pissed off Caroline that the women actually seem to be backing Brandi and not supporting Caroline, which prompted her to leave. I think that's the reason she chose to leave, is because it doesn't seem like the other women were supporting her, and it seemed like they would rather back up Brandi. The only one I can really see backing Caroline is probably Camille, but that's just because she has beef with Brandi. But I mean, Camille's always been so big about like fighting false accusations, so I'm curious where she falls in all of this. Now, it does look like Caroline was in New Jersey ahead of Brandi returning back to LA, so I'm not sure what the exact timeline was on who flew home first. I just know Brandi was the first one to be removed, and then Caroline decided to dip out on her own. I know Saturday night is when they filmed the finale dinner, so as far as I'm aware, both Brandi and Caroline were not present for that. Only the rest of the women were able to complete filming. So it sounds like the incident happened Thursday, which is when Brandi had to be removed, and then Friday is when Caroline decided to fly home. All of this starts to break on Saturday, right ahead of the finale. So it does seem like we got most of the trip with Brandi and Caroline, and it's probably only going to be the last like 2 episodes. Or we'll probably see this go down in the episode before the finale, and the finale is probably going to be the women's reaction to everything. So I don't know how the flights worked out, because Caroline was home doing cocktails in New Jersey with her daughter Lauren, and none of the other women have well, now they're all starting to post that they're on their flights home, but that wasn't until like Sunday morning that you started to see like Gretchen and Vicky, and they're in Paris and they're flying home ready to see their families. So at this point, production has wrapped. None of the women have been instructed to discuss any of this at all, because I believe now it has become a legal issue. I don't know if Caroline's pressing charges or plans to press charges. I just know that it's an ongoing HR issue, and it sounds really bad as I keep hearing it get described. So it seems like she's definitely making a big stink about it, and HR is involved, and there has to be some sort of investigation. If it did happen on camera, because I have chatted about this with different people, and they're like, well, if this is on camera, like, why would there need to be an investigation? My own, again, speculation, my own kind of, piecing this together myself. If it did happen on camera, and if there is a strong accusation like that, I would assume there would have to be a third party that would have to review the footage and then determine whether or not this is an actual assault. But I mean, at the end of the day, like if somebody puts hands on you, or if somebody comes near you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, you can claim that that's assault. How far is it actually going to go? I don't know. It was far enough. I mean, it was a big enough accusation that they had to remove Brandi. And she had to be placed in seclusion in a separate hotel, not around the other women. It is interesting. I'm hearing it's probably. I've heard multiple sides of the story at this point. I think based off of everything that I've heard, I'm leaning more towards Brandi, and it seems like that's where the other women seem to be aligning their support as well. It seems like it was possibly an overreaction. I wasn't there. I don't have all of the details. I don't have a first account. Like, my eyes did not see this happen. So I'm just going based off of the information that I've been given, which has been confirmed by multiple people at this point. Yeah. I don't know. I'm assuming now that it's out there and now that I'm talking about it, other people will start to get details and other people will start to let other tidbits slide. But I'm curious what you guys think about all of this. Do you think that this is even interesting enough to be this big of a drama and this big of beef? Are you leaning more towards Caroline? Are you leaning more towards Brandi? Very curious what your thoughts on all of this are, because it's pretty crazy. But yeah, the Dina stuff, I don't think Dina was part of any of this. I don't think Teresa was part of any of this. Like, maybe it came up at some point on the trip, or maybe that's what prompted Brandi to want to get Caroline to loosen up, from what it sounds. I just don't. I've never heard, from all the people that I've talked to, Dina's name has not come up, Teresa's name has not come up, and Danielle's name has not come up, and there's been no phone call. There's been no throwing of anything. At first, I was like, did Brandi throw hands? Did Brandi pour a drink on Caroline? But now it starts to check out that, like, you know, and I get it. Caroline's old school, right? She's like, she's not going to make out with the woman on television. So I kind of get it from Caroline's perspective, but I also think, like, I don't think Brandi meant any harm with this. That's just Brandi. She's playful. She'll smack your butt. You know, she'll do silly, loosey-goosey things when she's drinking. But other than that, I don't think Brandi meant any harm. And I don't know how that's going to hold up weight. Is intent, you know, going to come into play when it comes to some sort of assault? You know, if there's an assault, if that's the exact accusation that's being thrown out by Caroline. I don't know. Very curious what you guys think. I'll continue to keep you posted as I get more details. Again, I'm hoping now that I've come out and clarified it and given more details and context to the situation, other people, maybe other people that were on production or other people that were on the cast, will now start to leak out some other details, and it'll continue to catch wind and we'll get the full story. My issue, though, is it's like, we're not going to see this for what, probably a year? We're still waiting to get Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip that was filmed, what, at the end of last summer? I mean, my God, like, I at this point, I say take Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, throw it in the garbage. Can we skip to the good part? Take us straight to Season 4. I don't even think there's anything in Season 3 that I'm interested in anymore. Peacock needs to stop holding them for so long. We got the trailer, at BravoCon? Yeah, we got the trailer for Season 3, but the trailer hasn't been released publicly yet. It was just a teaser that we got at BravoCon that was months ago. I'm assuming Season 3 is probably going to drop, I would guess, maybe in March. They can't sit on it for much longer, and they're going to probably want to deflect from all the Season 4 drama, so I assume we'll probably get a trailer publicly in February with an official release date in March, and that's when we'll get Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3. And Season 4 is probably not going to come anytime soon. I think they should bump it up. We should get it no later than like this summer. But with the track record and the delay of the timeline, are we even going to care by the time this airs? I'm pretty sure at that point, all of the legalities will be settled. I can't see Caroline taking this that far, like beyond this. I'm pretty sure she wants to cause a big PR sting. She already caused Brandi to lose the last 2 days of filming's pay, because if she wasn't able to film on Friday and she wasn't able to film on Saturday, I'm assuming Brandi gets docked pay for that. I'm assuming Caroline also gets docked pay for not appearing on Saturday's finale production, but crazy. All the women are on their way home now. Again, let me know your thoughts. All right. That's all I got for you for